my LWC component. Okay, so what we were about to do the things. So if it is checked, then it should be web SFTC. If it is false, then it should be something else. So we'll go there, and we were like implementing the if and else. If it is true, then it will be web SFTC is true. If it is not true, then it will be it is false. Let me save this one and let me deploy this one. And this is started from here. Yeah, started and it, yeah, perfect. See, if it is true, then it is true, otherwise it is false, right? It is working fine. So why it is working fine? As per the, we can say this is totally only depend on the events only. Okay, so if I'll make some changes there, so it will automatically change the things. Okay, so that's the thing. So now let's say I want to add, let's say I want to add some placeholder. Placeholder. Please enter something. Let me deploy this thing. So even in Visual Force page in Salesforce, everywhere we have these kind of things. So where I can automatically, by default there is some value, right? So let me just remove the value, and yeah, this value I can use as a this value. Let me remove the value, and instead of value I can use the placeholder. Oh, why I'm using placeholder in case of checkbox? Should use this placeholder in case of input box. And in the backend, I can say, please enter something instead of I am Ajit. Please enter some value. So there is like already, like if I will make some changes, there is something like they are saying, please enter some value. If I'm refreshing the page, so you are able to see there is nothing, but that's a placeholder. So this is placeholder, like this is not an value, this is a in the background, we can say is a okay. So now let me just tell you that how can we call Apex class in the Lightning Web Component, like client side controller, like in this JavaScript controller. Okay, so for that, let me just create Apex class first. So you can say LWC controller demo something. So this is created. Let me just remove this constructor. I don't need this one. Instead of constructor, so we can create method add enable. So all these things coming. So let me remove this try catch. So we can do one thing. So this is my method. So after that, if I want to pass some value from, let's say we want to display the number of records from the Apex class side to, well, let's say, in Visual Force page, we are using page block table. So instead of page block table, so here we will use something different. Like we need to iterate the things. Like for that, we need to write a for loop. Equal to true. Okay, so here I can do one thing. If I want to like if I want to return the number of records related to some particular object, so I can say if I want to return the number of records related to contact object, so I can do like this, and like return type is must, right? So for that I can directly write like list of contact. Inside that I can store some values. I can do some SQLs over there. Select id name from contact, whatever limits and where close you want to edit. So you can edit. So we can set a count list. Okay, so what's the return type is? Return type is, so this method is for list type. So return type will also be the list type. Okay, so that's the method. So now I can save this one and I can deploy to Salesforce side. Okay, so now apart from this, so we'll call this method to our LWC component, like in the JS side. So for that, what will I use here? So like Visual Force page, we don't have any directly tags here. So we'll use the import this method name. We can say from so here I can say is the @ so this suggestion is, it is showing this suggestion. So Salesforce Apex, Salesforce Apex, and then I can copy the name of my class name. So I can copy the name of my class name dot my method name. What's the my method name is this. And what is this? This is my sorry, this is my this method name. Oh, sorry, I written a mistakenly. I written wrong. It is method name is a method name. So I can say method name is display contact records, something like this. Okay, so what will I use here? So in this one, so I'll use this is my method name, and this is also my method name. So I'm using like this. Okay, so we are using like this. So accordingly, so what should I do now? Let me refresh the, let me just deploy this one. And so in this one, so what will I use here? So as I told you, so for using the track API is up to private and public, but in case of wire, so if you want to call methods um, like server side controller, then on that time we'll use the this method. Okay, so let me just create this method. So what's my method name is? So this is my method name. Okay, this method. So what will I use here? I can create my method, JS method. Okay, so here we are like we can call the method like this. So this is my wire decorator. So wire decorator is, the always used for calling the server side controller method to client side controller method. So this is my method name. What is the, sorry, yes. What is this method name? This method name is this one, like which we are calling from the server side. Okay, this is my custom method name which I created now. Okay, inside that, so now we will decide whether we are getting the data or not. So whether we are getting the error or data. So so then I can write the data as a parameter. I can pass the data and error. Okay, in data and error I'm passing here. So now after that, what can I use here? So I can say if we are getting the data. Okay, if you are getting the data in the like in the from the server side controller, if you are getting the data, then what can I do here? I can write the some I can create some I can say it's a track variable on list It's a variable name. And so, oh, sorry. Inside the method I'm using. Track variable, I can say it's a list of contact. Okay, list of contact, and here I can directly pass the list dot is equal to data. Okay, so like this we are passing here. So in case of else, so I can say if we are getting the errors. Okay, if error is true, it means if you are getting the error in the from the server side controller to here, might be there is some exception we are getting here. Okay, for that I can create one more track variable, and accordingly I can create it, and I can say it's a list of error contacts, failed contact, something like this. Okay, so I'll copy this one and I pass this one to here. Okay, equal to my error. Okay, so we have done the things from the like JavaScript side. So now it's time to go to our HTML side. Okay, so let's go to HTML. So now, as you know, we are in the Visual Force page. We were using the simple things as a page block tables and these kind of things. Okay, so instead of using page block table in case of Lightning Web component, so we will use our like for each tag. Like for each, we can say it's a for each for loop. So that we need to iterate the number of records in the for loop, and that accordingly will divide it, and we can assign to our input and output whatever we have. Okay, so now what we are trying to do here, so we can use some template here, and inside template we can check whether we are getting a record or not. So if we can say so inside that, if we can say if okay, if we can say if is true, if is true is as a is true, we can pass the thing. Just wait a minute. If false, wait, okay. So it's a if it is true, if it is false, let me go to my Lightning Web component. There is failure. Where is failure? This is. If it is failure, then it will throw some error message inside the template. There are no records. No records found